Hi, I'm Brad Massey, the Saunders Foundation Curator of Public History here at the Tampa Bay History Center, and this is another episode of From the Collection. Today we will be looking at items from our collection that tell the story of the U.S. Civil War here in Tampa. Items we are going to highlight include weapons, an 1861 receipt for a cannon purchased to defend the city during the war, pieces of a ship burned by U.S. military forces, and photos of enslaved individuals that fought for their freedom during the war. In the decade before the U.S. Civil War, Tampa was a small town of about 1,000 people. The city had one military installation, Fort Brooke, that was used during the Seminole Wars. The city of Tampa was tied to the Deep South. Wealthy landowners and business persons in the area grew crops like cotton and raised cattle. 179 enslaved people lived in the area in 1850, including Dorcas Bryant and Sarah Brown. Captain James Mackay was an important figure from this period. His ships, for example the Scottish Chief, transported goods and people to Cuba and other ports. When the war started, Florida and Tampa's white political establishment sided with the Confederacy. Confederate forces occupied Fort Brooke, and the city bought a cannon for protection. We actually have the promissory note for this cannon here in our collection at the Tampa Bay History Center. During the war, the U.S. Navy attempted to block Florida's shipping, but Captain James Mackay smuggled items through the blockade. Usually his ships made it through, but not always. In 1861, the USS Keystone State confiscated Mackay's salvor and its goods, which included clothing, guns, tobacco, and coffee. The U.S. military once again clamped down on Mackay's smuggling activities the following year. In October of 1862, U.S. military officials discovered two of Mackay's ships, the Kate Dale and the Scottish Chief, were being sent up the Hillsborough River to be loaded with cotton and repaired. Once officials found this out, they ordered that two ships, including the Tahoma, be sent up the river to destroy the vessels. When the ships arrived in the city, they bombarded Tampa, and U.S. soldiers marched to where the Scottish Chief and the Kate Dale were moored. Not surprisingly, they found over 150 bales of cotton on the ships, which Mackay planned to send through the blockade. U.S. military officials lit both vessels on fire, and the Scottish Chief was later sunk in the Hillsborough River near Blake High School. In our collection, we have parts of the Scottish Chief that were recovered by divers. They included deck pin and cannonballs. As Mackay sent goods through the Union blockade, some of the area's enslaved people escaped bondage. Some successfully flagged down Union ships that patrolled area waters, and these people were taken to the U.S. military installation at Egmont Key. Others, like Dorcas Bryant, fought for new freedoms in town. Bryant and others held public meetings and church services in 1863, the likes of which had been previously outlawed. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something about the U.S. Civil War here in Tampa. If you'd like to learn more, go to tampabayhistorycenter.org, and we will see you next time on From the Collection.